My name is Jennifer Grant, and the title of my book is MOMumental: Adventures in the Messy Art of Raising a Family. And I wrote the book for other moms like me. I'm the mom of 4 children, and my process of becoming a mom entailed, like it does for all mothers, periods of being disappointed in myself and not knowing what I'm doing, not having an instruction manual for each of my 4 children. And so this book tells funny stories about my own family life and ways that I've learned how to be a less than perfect and yet really connected mom. I think parents today are prone to being more anxious and out of balance than maybe parents were, decades ago, because we have so much access to information. Every time we go and look on the news on CNN or however we get our news, we can find another little tidbit about something we should be doing as parents that we're not, or something we're doing that we shouldn't be doing. And all of that causes us a lot of pressure. One of the things that I write about in MOMumental is the fact that as much as possible my family and I eat together. What I see is when we are regularly eating dinner together, all my kids are able to share with each other about what's going on in their lives. When we don't eat together for a few weeks, if our schedule gets really busy, if my husband's traveling, if there are a lot of games and lessons and so on, I feel like we become a little bit disconnected, a little bit disjointed. So eating together is one of the things that I write about in the book as an important family practice in my family. I was raised by a single mom, and growing up, I so admire her. To this day, I admired her so much then. She worked really hard for my siblings and me, that we would have a wonderful place to live, that we would have all the things that we needed, and we did have those things. But I also worried, I was concerned that a person needed this sort of perfect role model of a marriage to follow in order to have one herself later. What I hope is that MOMumental will encourage people who want connected families, whether they are raising their kids and have joint custody with a spouse or an ex-spouse, or whether they themselves were brought up with single parents, that they can do this. They can create healthy relationships, connected relationships with their kids, even if it doesn't fit some perfect family picture. MOMumental is my own family stories and kind of some funny stories about ways that I tried to respond to some of the things that I learned to be the exact right way to be a parent, which I later learned, may or may not have been appropriate to each one of my kids. One of the ways I've really messed up as a mom was a day when I found something on one of my son's Facebook walls. A kid had put a comment on his page that I found really offensive. I logged in on his Facebook as him, and I responded to it. And I tried to make it sound like it was him. And I wrote, "Dude, that's totally inappropriate," under this comment. And then when my son came home, I confessed it. And I said, "I have to tell you something I did today." And he looked at it and he said, "You went on my Facebook as me?" But he was almost more upset that I had said dude and that I had used a comma, dude, comma, that's totally inappropriate. So he actually agreed with me that it was a really inappropriate comment, but it was a misstep for me to log in as him and to respond to it myself. I hope that people who read MOMumental will feel encouraged as parents. I hope they'll have a little bit of that pressure taken off of them. I hope they'll see from the studies that I quote and also just from the family stories that I include that there isn't one way to raise a healthy, connected family. It's about not having to be so quick to react and respond to every news blurb and press release that comes out saying the right way to be a parent. I think there's so many great ways to be a parent, and I think that many people who are judging themselves or judging others really can take a few steps back and enjoy the time that they have with their kids and enjoy who they are as individuals and bring that to their parenting.